Thank you for watching Policy and Prejudice. My name is Chris Stevenson. By the time you see this, the election of November 6th will probably be over with. But one election will probably still be in the air that has to do with my very controversial guest sitting to the right of me, Ms. Betty Jean Grant. She is the candidate of the 63rd District, and I say that the election is still up in the air because a lot of underhanded things were done to keep her from winning, and not the least of which 400 votes were tossed. That's 400 decisive votes that could have made her the victor and made her our next state senator. You know, and it's thank you for coming. Also,
You're welcome.
Betty.
You're welcome.
You know, where are we with that exactly?
Well, where we are, as you know, Chris, you were there recounting the votes, and state Supreme Court. We were at state Supreme Court, and they ruled that time had run out because they had to certify the winner. And so, with 400 votes still being left on the table, they certified my opponent, Mr. Kennedy, as the winner. However, we moved to have them removed to federal court. In federal court, you have to have clear definition. Had we started in federal court at the very beginning, I'd probably be announced the winner of that election right now.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, we have to wait and have the Department of Justice to see if those voters were disenfranchised. So indirectly, it'll benefit me because if those voters were disenfranchised, we know they were, there are 400 voters actually left on the table. If the federal government rules that they were disenfranchised, they might have to go and do one or two things. Have a special election to determine the winner, or they might do based on the certification of Mr. Kennedy, they might have to withdraw that and certify me the winner. However, in the meantime, because federal government does not operate in a speedy manner, it will not be finished by November 6th, I have decided to do what's called write-in candidate.
Okay.
So if I'm a successful write-in candidate, then I know for sure I'll be there January the 1st, 2013. If the federal government overturned the ruling of the state Supreme Court, then I know that I will be the winner there. So we're trying to go two-pronged. Because of the state Supreme Court rule, and Judge Glonia ruled that Mr. Kennedy was the winner due to the fact that he was ahead, regardless of the fact that 400 individual votes were still left uncounted.
Right.
That is voter disenfranchisement.
Right.
And especially when you have the fact that we ran out of time. And why we ran out of time? After being 3 weeks in court, we ran out of time because my opponent lawyer stopped, filed a motion with state Supreme Court to stop the count. And it seems to me that if you know you clearly won,
How does that happen?
why would you stop the count? What's even more astounding, was even mind-boggling for them to even ask to stop the count when clearly there's no need to.
Yeah.
But was really mind-boggling for me was for a judge to okay that, to okay the stopping of voting, of counting votes when there was no clear reason to do so. And by stopping that,
That's Judge Gloina.
yes.
And who selected? Whose idea was to use Judge
Well,
Gloina?
it wasn't ours for sure, and we went to the I forgot her name, the person who was in charge of all the judges, and he was assigned a case. And when he was assigned a case and he stopped the counting, we went back to him the next day and said, well, why you stopped the count? There's no reason not to stop it. And we asked to restart the counting of the ballot because we knew they were going to say things like time had run out. He refused to restart it. We went to
And
Judge.
that's you're there for that purpose.
Absolutely. We went to
You're
Judge.
there, you know what I'm saying? You vote. You're there to recount the votes.
We're there to recount.
And they
the
say,
vote.
okay, stop recounting.
Stop recounting. We filed an appeal with Judge Peridata, who ruled that the count must start. But however, when at the end of the day, when they said they had to have a winner certified because they had to do military ballots and absentee ballot, and you have to have so many days between the filing of those absentee ballot and the general election, the Board of Election, in addition to Mr. Kennedy's lawyer, petitioned the judge to determine a winner and to certify a winner. Now, I find it strange that the Board of Election would ask that when we had asked for the board to let us inspect all the ballots, to manually inspect the ballot, because we never had a chance to do that, to do a final recount. We never had a chance to do that, and also to manually inspect the machine. Each machine takes a picture of every ballot. So if you tell me that this is a vote for Mr. Kennedy,
Mm-hmm.
I can go to the machine and find out for sure. Not that I'm accusing anybody of doing anything illegal, but I like to know for sure, and that's called check it and double check it.
Yeah.
My campaign was not allowed to do a final recount. We're not allowed to inspect the machines because when you inspect the machine, there could be ballots left in the machine, emergency
Right.
ballot. On election night, machine breakdown, they get the ballots, they put it in the machine in a little drawer. We want to see, number one, had every vote been taken out of the machines, and number two, if every vote that's been recorded as such was truly, in fact, as such.
Right.
So you don't do that by having an inspection machine. And I find it very strange that the Board of Election lawyer petitioned the judge not to allow a candidate to inspect the machine. Because he had nothing
Yeah.
to hide, then why deny us that opportunity?
Well, I've been reading a lot of information on those machines anyway. They're trying to make it illegal. I guess I don't know if it's illegal to check these machines. There's 3 types of new voting machines out there.
Mhm.
They're all owned by Republican-funded companies. Okay, there's Diebold,
Right.
there's Sequoia, there's DS&S, and that's what's
Yes.
used for Buffalo.
DS, that's 200, right.
Yep, the DS200, and these I think Sequoia and DS&S, 2 of those 3 are really the same company.
Right.
Okay, and they trying to make it illegal for you to check inside the machine.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You know what? I'm
All
not
right.
be surprised because
What?
that way you can really steal an election if you don't have the
Sure.
voters and the candidate don't have that is scrutiny. That is scrutinizing the process. And number 2.
They are now nationalizing what they did in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
What you say? Number 2 is
Number 2 is machine. The ballot is very small. That oval is very small. So if you're a senior citizen, you have poor eyesight, or you are disabled, you can't see well, or if you are not as literate as you should be, you have difficulty reading, it's going to be possible for you to really read that ballot and make a really valid vote. If you go outside the bubble, it might be considered an overvote, and your vote won't count. If you can't see the bubble because you're disabled or you're old or you have poor eyesight, you might not see the bubble. So your inclination is, I can't see that bubble or that oval, I'll just circle a name. If you do that, Chris, your vote is no good. So it doesn't surprise me that this is the machine of choice in New York State when it comes from a Republican that owns the machine, controls the machine, and sold the machine in New York State, because this, as we know, people who are lower income, those who are minorities, they have more difficulty voting because of the very nature of them may be undereducated or not as literate as they should be. And that's not just African American, but most of the minority group, they have a problem with voting, and especially when it has to do with a lot of reading and writing.
So we are definitely gone from Jim Crow to JamesCrow.com.
The new Jim Crow. The new Jim Crow.
The new Jim Crow.
Absolutely.
No more water hoses or poll taxes, but now crooked machines,
Yes.
defective machines, rigged machines, I should
Right.
say. That's terrible. So you're saying this has gone to the U.S. Supreme Court. This is Clarence Thomas's and them Supreme Court?
Hopefully Mr. Thomas won't be assigned. Hopefully that he was voting in a positive, but I don't hold much hope for that.
He has to be there every time.
It'll be federal appellate courts. It wouldn't be the Supreme Court.
If they argue this in the chamber, he's notorious for not saying anything. He might just keep his mouth shut.
Absolutely.
Okay, he's gone 6 years and running.
Well, he should remember the Hippocratic oath. He was a doctor, first do no harm, and I think most of the time he has opened his mouth has been really to impair or to impair a person's right to justice. He has been one of the most staunchest judges for denying people their human rights and their civil rights.
Yeah,
And it's just a shame that he had to be a person of color who is promoting that.
That's bizarre.
Yes, it is.
That's a political twilight zone in itself.
It is.
But thank you for coming on the show
You're
and
welcome.
also explaining
Absolutely.
this. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Because after you've been around for over the years. I've seen you
Yes.
for decades now fighting this fight. And the thing is, Buffalo is a tough nut to crack, Betty.
It is a tough nut to crack, but I just want to think that of 24,000 votes that cast, to have 139 vote difference between me and my opponent, after him spending $700,000 and me spending $20,000, after him getting all the endorsement from the unions, from the black elected official, him getting the endorsement from the political parties, both Democrat and Republican, to come with my little organization and my little supporter, but the support of the people of the community to come hunt third and I vote short is indeed a win for me and a blessing for me in this community.
I agree with that, but even 139 votes is short. It's a close one, but it's not even. It's still up in the air.
Absolutely.
It's not even conclusive.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching another segment of Policy and Prejudice. Thanks to Ms. Betty Jean Grant,
Thank you.
who will be the future senator, state senator of New York, hopefully anyway.
If not this year or next year, in 2 years for
In
sure.
2 years for sure. And you all have a great week. That's it.